Who here has ever experienced pain? Please, put up your hand. And if you can't, put up your hand, just nod your head. And if you can't nod your head, call me. My name is Dr. Wayne Phimister, and treating chronic pain is what I do. Now, you may be thinking, I talk funny, but you should have been there when I was a wee lad back in bonnie Scotland. As a Scot, I know pain. From William Wallace's historic blood-soaked battles to the Highland Games caber toss, which is where essentially low back spasms originate. But how do you throw a telephone pole without crushing a vertebrae? We Scots, we know pain, and that's made us a passionate people. Now, by definition, chronic pain is an unpleasant sensory and emotional experience lasting more than 3 months. But what does it mean for anyone suffering from it? Maybe you. For many, it's horrible, and it makes you feel helpless, hopeless. Many have lives ruined with long periods of long-term disability. And many give up on themselves, as does the rest of society. Only this week, a 41-year-old patient of mine ended their life with medical assistance and dying because of chronic pain and illness. And her suffering was just too much. Now, let me be clear. I'm not talking about obvious causes of pain like a compressed sciatic nerve, bone tumor, or gout. There are effective pain treatments for these conditions. But if you're someone, or you know someone, suffering from chronic pain of unknown origin, here are a few things that you need to know. The World Health Organization tells us that 1 in every 3 people have chronic pain. And the only good thing about that is that you are not alone. Most medical treatments are ineffective, says the medical literature. And we try therapies, and we try surgeries, and we try a list of drugs, starting with simple painkillers, right up to those controversial opioids. And as I interview people for my podcast show, I've realized how controversial this subject is. But that's for another talk. Sadly, we have an opioid crisis upon us. And it is a crisis because in Canada, 11 people a day are dying unnecessarily from opioid-related deaths, mainly fentanyl overdoses. And it's even worse in the States. 168 people are dying. And this shocks me. Regrettably, it's even affected my own patients. And I felt awful because I ran out of ideas on how to help them. I had to search and go looking for answers of proven scientific treatments. And when I found some, I quit my family practice to focus on this problem. And the breakthrough concept that changed everything for me is this. You cannot separate the mind from the body. Physical pain has an emotional component, and both need to be treated. The late Dr. John Sarno, the pioneer of mind-body medicine, led the way. And this talk really is about the mind-body connection. And how do you retrain your brain to reduce pain? Dr. Sarno, he helped 10,000 patients go pain-free when there was no medical answers. 10,000 patients. That's remarkable. And he educated them that chronic pain has a psychological and emotional basis. And he learned from his patients that it's the stresses of childhood and the stresses of life and the stresses of our own personalities that all contribute to the programming of your nervous system and your brain for pain. Now, stress triggers symptoms in our bodies like shallow breathing or a fast heart rate, high blood pressure, tense muscles, anxious thoughts, and chronic pain. Stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol, are pouring into your bloodstream all the time that you're in pain. Anxiety engulfs you. Depression, not far behind. Now, the good news is that we can reduce our stress by a shift in thinking. And this is one way to retrain the brain to reduce pain. Julie Clare, a 65-year-old lady, rolled herself into my office 18 months ago in a wheelchair. And at the age of 15, she received a gunshot wound to the right leg. And due to complications, had the leg amputated from the knee down. For 49 years, Julie Clare had stump pain in the flesh that's just above the amputation site. And Julie describes her pain as searing, like scraping your skin on the sidewalk. And she tried all kinds of treatments with little results. She was on those opioids, which left her in a brain fog and intense levels of anxiety, anger, and angst. I explained to Julie that it was the stresses in her life that had caused the pain. And once she understood that she controls her brain through her thoughts and beliefs, she was on her way. And she moved well beyond the belief that her pain was permanent. She did repeated positive affirmations in her mind and spoken out loud all day, every day. And she learned how to lay down new nerve circuits in the brain. The researchers call this neuroplasticity. In 4 weeks, her stump pain was gone. Now, she dances at home every day like a 3-year-old without worry. She walks with a prosthesis. She's ditched the wheelchair. She's lost 57 pounds in weight. Her diabetes is in retreat on a plant-based diet. She's off her insulin. She's off her opioids. She's basically off all her drugs. And she's learned to retrain her brain and reduce her pain to 0 in the stump. Millie McConnell. What a great Irish name. She's a lady who's 40 and holding, she tells me. 2001, she was given the rare terminal diagnosis of stomach cancer with only 3 months to live. And from that moment on, Millie had a shift in thinking. It saved her life. And now she continuously controls her chronic abdominal pain as a result of her surgery. In Millie's mindful approach is this. She teaches it to people all around the world. Number 1, let go of things you cannot change. 2, accept the situation, whatever it is. And 3, tell yourself, this is only temporary. Let go, accept, this is only temporary. Millie's mindful approach of not adding stress to the situation and constantly redirecting her thoughts is her way of retraining the brain to reduce pain. Dr. David Hanscom, a recently retired spinal surgeon from Seattle, had chronic pain for 16 years, and he tried all kinds of treatments, including 2 back surgeries that failed. And once he understood that he can retrain his brain with the techniques that I'm sharing today, not only does he reduce his pain on a regular basis, but he's helped hundreds and hundreds of patients do the same. Dr. Hanscom's wonderful message to the world is when you engage in an enjoyable life, you connect the emotional heart to the emotional brain. And this helps to retrain your brain. And we can all do this. If you really enjoy those simple things, like a cup of tea or coffee, or just going for a walk, but really enjoy it. And those passions you may have, like being with the grandkids, or your own kids, or your animals, or doing your hobbies. Research done at the HeartMath Institute in Northern California has shown that when you connect your emotional heart with your emotional brain, with focused thoughts, you have positive health outcomes. Now, these remarkable recoveries show us our potential and what is possible for some. Now, I'm going to share with you 3 techniques that I use with my patients every day. And I urge you, if you've got pain, to use them, because they will help reduce pain. Number 1, expressive writing. Write your thoughts down on paper every day. It's like you can drain the pain from your brain onto paper. Spend a few minutes doing this, or more, and over time, your brain will calm your pain. There's over 1,000 articles in the literature showing the health benefits of expressive writing. And what I see in my office every day are the ones who write are the ones who get better. 2, think and talk with care. Never talk about your pain to yourself or anyone else in regular daily life. Why? Because it triggers the stress and the pain in the body. So the next time a friend is complaining about their pain, gently tell them, stop. This will be at their benefit and yours. And repeated positive affirmations. Repeat out loud. Every day. Not quite yet. Coming up to that. 20 times in the morning, 20 times at night, and all day if you can. This is the one I use. You ready? Every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. Together. Every day, in every way, I am. Number 3, conscious breathing. Pause every hour of the day and breathe consciously 3 times. You inhale deeply and you exhale slowly. So let's do this 3 times together. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Inhale and exhale. And once more. Now, do you feel more relaxed? So that's your body relaxing with a calmer nervous system and brain. And if you want more relaxation, More retraining the brain. Do it for 20 minutes a day. And if you've got time, just do it all day long. People suffering from chronic pain deserve to know that they can retrain their brain. Spread this idea and let's help our family and our friends, our neighbors, and ourselves to reduce our pain. Share these techniques with those you love, and these can help you on the journey of healing. Number 1, write your thoughts down. 2, think and talk carefully. And 3, keep breathing consciously. You can retrain your brain and reduce your pain. Thank you.